1 minute ago. That's all it takes for a throne to tremble. For whispers in the palace corridors to become a roar heard around the world. For a king, facing his own mortality, to make a move that could reshape the British monarchy for generations to come. This is not just news. This is the first fragile signal of a crisis. And if you want to understand the truth behind the headlines, the hidden currents moving beneath the polished surface of royalty, you need to stay with us. Right here on Royal Report 24/7. Consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Because in the next few minutes, we're going behind the palace walls, and what we're uncovering changes everything. According to multiple reports circulating within the last hour, King Charles III has taken a step so decisive, so unprecedented for his reign, that it has sent shockwaves through the establishment. Royal insiders claim that the king has formally and publicly named his sister, the Princess Royal, as his designated interim representative. This isn't a casual delegation of duties. Sources describe it as a structured and significant empowerment of, and placing her at the very heart of state machinery during what is being termed officially a period of managed recuperation for the monarch. But here at Royal Report 24/7, we've learned to listen to what isn't being said. The word interim hangs in the air, heavy with implication. Why make this so explicit? Why now? And why Princess Anne? To understand the gravity of this moment, you must look not at the calm surface, but into the depths of tensions that have been simmering for years. Tensions that involve a future queen, a self-exiled duchess, and a king caught between the crown he wears and the family he leads. Let's rewind the clock just a few weeks. The atmosphere was already electric. On one side, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, courageously battling her own health crisis in private, her absence a gaping hole in the royal frontline. On the other, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, launching a brand that many within the old walls of Buckingham Palace viewed not as a business, but as a declaration of war, a direct leveraging of the very royal status the institution has tried to compartmentalize. And in the middle, King Charles, a monarch not yet 2 years into his reign, confronting a double health scare of his own. Insiders say the palace was operating in a state of high alert normalcy. But then, the narrative cracked. Reports, and we must stress these are unconfirmed claims from those close to the royal household, began to suggest that the king's frustration was reaching a boiling point. The focus was allegedly on Meghan, with Catherine out of action and the Sussex brand making global headlines. A cold fear reportedly took hold, that the monarchy's message, its control over its own story, was slipping away, that a renegade narrative was winning the day. This is where history whispers. King Charles waited a lifetime for this role. He witnessed the media firestorms around Diana, lived through the scandal of his own marriage, and endured the existential threat of the Sussex exit. His entire sovereign project is one of streamlined, slimmed-down stability. A monarchy that is efficient, respected, and above the fray. The idea that, during his own vulnerable moment, the institution could be perceived as being upstaged or destabilized by commercial ventures launched from California. To those interpreting the king's mindset, this was not just a personal annoyance. It was an institutional threat. And so, the insider theory goes, a calculated signal was needed. A reassertion of the true, unshakable core of the firm. Not the glamour, not the global celebrity, but the dutiful, silent, relentless workhorse. Enter Princess Anne is the anti-drama. She is the royal who famously told a kidnapper, "Not bloody likely." The one who clocks more engagements in a year than any other working royal, without a flicker of personal scandal, without a brand, without an Instagram account. By elevating her so publicly, insiders suggest King Charles is doing more than delegating tasks. He is symbolically anointing a prototype. He is pointing to the very model of royal service he values most. In a single move, he stabilizes his own ship and sends an unmistakable message about what the monarchy is and what it is not. But did this move come with a sharper edge? This is where the story deepens, and the sources grow more guarded. Some within the commentary sphere are asking a dangerous question. Was this also a message about the line of succession? Not in changing it, but in highlighting its fragility? With Catherine recuperating and Prince William stepping back to support his family, the immediate future king is temporarily out of the public spotlight. The king's brother, Prince Andrew, is utterly unthinkable in any role of substance. Prince Edward and Sophie are beloved, but lack in decades of hardened, statesperson-like experience, the BY placing and the sister who has never put a foot wrong. Squarely in the center is the king subtly exposing a latent vulnerability in the system he now commands. Is he showing the world, and perhaps certain family members, that when the chips are down, the monarchy's greatest asset isn't its star power, but its quiet, steel-spined resilience? And what of the reported reaction behind the scenes? This is pure speculation, drawn from the patterns of royal behavior we've analyzed for years. In Montecito, such a bold, centralizing move would likely be seen as the ultimate consolidation of the old guard, a doubling down on the very institution Harry and Meghan have stepped away from. It could be perceived as a wall being built higher, a message that duty within the system is the only currency that truly matters. Any hope, however faint, of a warming détente would, under this theory, be frozen solid. For Prince William, the calculus is different. Sources close to his circle have long indicated his deep respect for his aunt. Her elevation provides stability and a trusted hand on the wheel while he tends to his wife and family. But for a future king, it might also be a quiet lesson in real time, a masterclass in how to wield the sovereign's authority through proxy, how to make a personnel decision that speaks volumes about philosophy and legacy. The most poignant tension, however, may lie not across oceans, but within the palace walls itself. Queen Camilla, the king's rock and most trusted confidant. Her role is not diminished. She remains the constant companion. But by naming and as his constitutional interim representative, the king has drawn a clear line between the personal and the procedural, the heart and the head of state. It's a move of a constitutional purist, and it underscores the lonely burden of the crown. A burden even a beloved wife cannot officially share at SO. Where does this leave us tonight? With a kingdom in a state of delicate suspension. A king who, in facing his own fragility, has made his strongest power play yet. Not against a person, but against chaos itself. He has chosen the stalwart over the sensational, the workhorse over the wildfire. He has built a dam of duty against a potential flood of uncertainty. But the questions remain, haunting the gilded halls. Is this a temporary measure, or the first glimpse of a new and centric model of regency? Has this move, intended to quell rumors, actually amplified the world's concern about the king's true condition? And in the long, silent game of royal legacy, has a line just been drawn in the sand that will define relationships for decades to come? 1 minute ago, the story changed. The next chapter of the Windsor dynasty is being written not with grand ceremonies, but with quiet, seismic shifts in responsibility. This is a story of survival, of symbolism, and of a king who may be planning for the future of his crown with a clarity that only personal trial can bring. Every moment of this unfolding drama matters. And we will be here, watching, analyzing, and connecting the dots for you. So don't miss a single update. If you haven't already, subscribe to Royal Report 24/7 and hit the like button on this video. It's how you ensure you're always first to know, first to understand, when the next whisper from the palace becomes a headline that shakes the world. And share your thoughts below. Who do you believe holds the key to stability in this new royal era?